So what makes me cranky about Kingsman, the Golden Circle? Elton John has more screen time than Channing Tatum. To be fair, most of the Elton John stuff is really funny. But that kind of bait and switch is one of my biggest pet peeves. I hate when a big name actor gets thrown around in all the marketing and then turns out to be barely in the film at all. I hate more that the movie itself sets him up like he's going to be important and then promptly sidelines him for pretty much the rest of its runtime. The whole statesman thing in general kind of gets the shaft. Rather than being a new organization for our hero Eggsy to navigate, this American version of the Kingsman is effectively just a new hideout with a cowboy theme. Because Golden Circle is every bit the kind of sequel that seeks to give you more of everything you loved in the first movie, in every sense of the word more, for all the good and bad that entails. Now, on the one hand, that preserves all the things that were fun about the first movie. I mean, Golden Circle has just as many weird, zany characters as the first one. It turns plenty of otherwise plain-looking objects into crazy spy gadgets, and it has all of the cool, inventive action that made Kingsman so much fun to watch in the first place. But it's not as tightly executed, and you lose the surprise and intrigue that comes from following a new character into a strange new world. That's why it's so hard to follow up on superhero origin stories. By the end of the film, they have all their powers and the big bad is gone, so now what? Every once in a while, you'll get a sequel like John Wick 2 that surprises you by diving deeper into the world of its predecessor, but Golden Circle sticks to the old-fashioned answer to that question. Take everything away from the hero and do it again. Just try and make sure that it's bigger and badder this time. So rather than being an interesting way to expand this universe, the Statesmen are basically just an excuse to rehash a bunch of stuff from the original Kingsman movie. Like, did you like that bar scene where rude patrons get a face full of karma because they taunted a guy who turned out to be a super spy? Well, guess what? You'll get that again, even if it makes no sense for these particular patrons to instigate a fight like it did in the first movie. And don't get me wrong, Matthew Vaughn and his stunt team haven't lost a step in creating and directing that kind of action, so it's just as cool and fun to watch, with lots of crazy transitions and well-executed ramping and smart choreography leading to deliciously violent ends. But unlike the first film, where it took time to build up to the most ridiculous stuff, Golden Circle opens up with that kind of thing. And then it spends the rest of the movie trying to outdo itself, which is probably why it doesn't really know when to end. It just keeps doing more and more crazy fight sequences until I think they just ran out of stuntmen. Which makes sense, because after all, if your first movie already involves saving the world by single-handedly taking on an army of henchmen and defeating a woman with knives for legs, you have to work really hard to top that. Another thing lost in magnification was the subversion of the spy movie tropes. There are still a few minor attempts at doing that, of course, including one that may give Hillary Clinton fans the closest thing they'll ever get to catharsis, but nothing as delightful as Samuel L. Jackson stating and then proving, this ain't that kind of movie. In fact, the trailers have spoiled that they go 100% in the opposite direction. This is, in fact, exactly that kind of movie. With Golden Circle, the Kingsman franchise has become the very thing it satirized. Luckily, the super spy movies they are poking fun at are usually rather entertaining. That's why they're popular enough to satirize in the first place. And Golden Circle's no different. It's a Bond movie without the James Bond and its tongue a little further into its cheek. So despite it retreading a lot of familiar ground, I still enjoyed it quite a bit. It's got some good laughs, some great action, likable characters played by actors who know how to sell them, and a great score to boot. So I'd say if you like the first Kingsman, there's no reason you can't have a good time with this one, even at a full-price ticket. Though saving a couple bucks at a matinee would probably be better. That's what I thought about Kingsman the Golden Circle, anyway. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and more viewers maketh the channel. So make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more reviews so you too can become a swordsman.